Peggy 18.
Mass Effect 3 Omega will be hitting your consoles next month. We talked to Fabrice Condominas from BioWare Montreal, who filled us in on the upcoming Aria action.
Mass Effect 3 Omega is almost with us, and it's a biggie, isn't it?
Oh, it's the biggest DLC we ever made for the Mass Effect franchise. It's a 4 hours long gameplay. There's a lot of new features. We got 2 new weapons, we got 2 new enemies, we get new powers, and of course we're playing with new henchmen because you can play with Aria as a henchman, and we're also introducing the new character, which is the first female Turian of the franchise, called Nyreen.
What was it like working with a female Turian and getting the voice and getting everything right in terms of the look and the sound of the character?
We were all very excited about that idea. So female Turians, we'll probably see them in the trilogy as soldiers, just because they're hard to distinguish between male and female. But as a main character, is definitely the first one. The premise of this DLC is how far are you willing to go in supporting Aria to retake Omega, and your choices definitely makes a lot of impact on how this DLC will evolve. All the story takes place in the context of retaking Omega, so you're pretty much fighting a lot of the time against Cerberus troops.
I believe there's a brand new faction in this DLC.
There's a faction called the Talons that nobody really expected, and it was kind of a small drug smuggler faction, but they were extremely organized. So suddenly they appeared as the Omega Resistance, we could really call them actually, against Cerberus troops. And this is definitely one of the main things Shepard, Aria, Nyreen will have to deal with.
Is there a big weight on your shoulders to make this the best DLC yet?
It is, of course, and especially because Omega and Aria, so Omega as a station, as iconic places, and Aria as a character are both people are very, very attached.
When did it become an idea to actually go back to Omega and take it back from Cerberus?
So I think at the very beginning of Mass Effect 3, after the reception of Mass Effect 2, because clearly from the fans and the feedback we have, and in between games when we tried thinking about games, we're reading a lot of that feedback. Omega and Aria was definitely 2 names that were popping up very, very frequently. If you take a character like Aria, she has a very, very strong personality. So that's also one thing that we use as a guide to define her history. Omega, same thing. How that station ended with all those merc groups, etc., etc. So, in the main narrative of the main Mass Effect 3 games, there was not really a place how to fit that in. But we definitely knew that it would be interesting to have actually a dedicated campaign. It's a balance between what we want to do and what we think people will like.
I am Omega.